I see it as such a blessing, and I love them, and I forgive them, and I forgive myself. And I try to see all the amazing and beauty that has come out of that bad incident. Hey guys, so I was just thinking about this concept and idea of forgiveness and the importance of it. It's something that I've practiced, I guess, the last 3 years of like practicing more compassion and forgiveness. But in this last month, I've been really focusing on forgiving and really going through and like picking a person to forgive and a situation to forgive, and in essence also forgiving myself. And I was brought to think about this moment in my life where I was very, very angry and I was very upset, and I never ever thought I would forgive these people. But in looking back in hindsight, it was the greatest gift that I could be given. And it's so funny because if you would have asked me this 12 years ago, I would be like, this is the worst day of my life. I can't imagine anything worse happening. But I'm so thankful, and I forgive the people involved and the ones that I thought have, done me wrong. And it was such a blessing. And I'll tell you the story now, but so when I was 25, I had went to Australia, as one does, and gets a working holiday visa. And we have an uncle. So there was like an uncle I grew up with who used to live in Canada, and he moved to Australia with his like new wife and whatnot. And I reached out to them because I was like, I don't have that much money, and they're family, and so maybe I could stay with them for a little bit. And there was this incident where his wife had asked that I cover up when I'm at home, and I mean as in a hijab and whatnot. And at that time in my life, I didn't wear that outside the house. And so for me, it didn't make sense where I'm like, okay, if I'm not wearing it outside of the house, I don't understand why I should wear this. Also, he's my uncle and he's 60, this just doesn't make any sense. Anyways, the options were I cover up and stay, or I leave. And for me, it was a very, very easy decision. I was like, okay, sweet. I was already disowned. At this point, I was disowned by my mom 3 years prior. And so I was like, okay, it's all right. Here we go. Just another woman, wanting to do me harm. At least that's what I thought in that point. And so I was driven to the train station, and I don't want you, honestly, for any of you guys, as I tell this story, to feel bad for me, because it's so much good has come of it. And so I'm taken to the train station, and here I am. I'm trying to think of at this point, I think I was in Australia for 5 or 6 weeks. I just started working at an Indian restaurant, and I had met this amazing German girl. And so I had reached out to her because she's also a fellow backpacker, and was like, hey, I have nowhere to stay. Do you think I could stay at your hostel? And she was like, yeah, sure, I can talk to them. The thing is, I only have enough money for 2 days. That's it. I was also, I was really bad with money at the time. And I didn't think, in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a couple of months to save. And so everything that was coming in, I was spending it quicker than it came in. And I think I'd only been working at this restaurant for 2 weeks. And before that, I've been job hunting and whatnot. So we go to the hostel. We go to the most beautiful, amazing, lovely Greek family couple. And I was like, I would like to stay here for a week. And I know you guys need people to pay up front if you want a bed for a week, but I only have enough for 2 days. I'm gonna ask for an advance with my thing. Can I stay? And they're like, yes, it's okay. Pay what you have and we'll write you down for a week. We know you're good for it. And I was like, how do they know I'm good for it? These people, I'd only stayed there once over a weekend and whatnot. And I was like, they don't even know me. we have like, and this is like, and at this point I was really feeling like shitty about people, and the world just kept showing me how incredible and amazing people can be. And so they let me stay for a week, even though I didn't pay them for it, and I had given them all of my money, so I had no money for food for that week. And so I went to the Indian restaurant that I was working at and was like, can I get an advance? And he was like, I'll see what I can do. I think he gave it to me 2 days earlier than normal, which was still good enough. But the amazing thing there was that we used to get a free meal with each of our shifts. And like, I was not a big eater, so like that one meal was like my dinner and lunch for the next day. Like that is, I was literally eating Indian food for breakfast because I had nothing else. Like I was like, it's gonna be curry. That's what breakfast is gonna be. And that's all I ate for a week, is whatever they gave me is the food that I had during my shifts, and I made it last. And so it was like one meal would last me a day or two or longer, like 2 days if I wasn't working the next. And yeah, I made it, and it was just like one hard week. And after that, I figured it out. Like I made it work, and it was just getting back up on my feet. But that incident had allowed me to be free, to prove to myself that I stood by my values, that I would not bow down to someone out of fear, that I wouldn't follow what was quote unquote, what was expected, I guess. Okay, so as I was walking, look at this beautiful place that I'm in, by the way. This is like my favorite bench, especially on a really nice autumn day, to just sit here and be with nature. And like there's geese. I'm surprised they haven't left yet, but there's geese in the lake nearby, or really I should call it a pond. But as I was walking, I was thinking about if I sounded a bit self-righteous in the video before, and I wanted to like get across the message that like leaving and putting a line in the sand isn't everyone's journey. It was something for me. Sometimes your right answer is compromise. And also I want to say that it was absolutely their right to decide how people wanted to act or behave or be in their home. And I absolutely understand that. But I think for my journey and for my soul's journey, especially being someone that always felt like an alien, always felt like an other, and like made it my mission to always want to fit in and not make too much noise and not be, and like in my early 20s, I've decided I was done with that and no more. And so that was my soul's journey, that I needed to leave and say, nope, I will figure it out. And I also have to say that I'm privileged to have a Western passport and to have been in a country where I could make ends meet, and I could always have gone back home to Canada, and so I wasn't without choices. And I understand that there's probably women or people that don't have choices and that they have to stay, and in those situations maybe you compromise, right? And I send you blessings, I send you love, and I understand that, and I didn't want it to ever sound like of like, oh, my decision or my way is better. It was my soul's contract, and that's the journey that I needed to go to witness all the beauty and love around me. I needed to have what I thought a sense of home and belonging, and be rejected from that, and then find belonging and acceptance in others that were very unlike me. And so I think that was I just wanted to kind of put a disclaimer in the story. It was quite emotional, and I don't think I
gave all the sides to the story. Sometimes it's very easy to be in your emotions and to only share something from that one side. So at the end of the day, the whole point of this is just to practice more forgiveness, and that story was just to tell you my experience and how I was able to really sit in forgiveness right now. And so I love you, blessings and love, and go outside, please, if you can, and if you are able to, go for a walk, go sit in nature. I love you guys, and I'll let you continue the rest of the video now. Bye.
Where was I? Yes. So I'm not telling this story in a sense for anyone to feel bad for me. Essentially, it was sometimes, and this is where this story is about forgiveness, and honestly about forgiving yourself and also forgiving others. And sometimes it's also important to, like, when you go back and relive these old stories and memories of, like, why maybe try to see the positive or something that you could have learned from it, or the good that has come of it. Because I truly believe, like, what you pay attention to is what you see more of. And if you see all the blessings and all the ways that you have been supported, you will get more support. And if you see all the ways where you've been abundant, you're going to have more abundance. And also, in addition to that, practicing forgiveness. And so I have been challenging myself to forgive a new person every single day and to forgive myself. And there's the practice of, like, ho'oponopono. I'm butchering this. If someone is Hawaiian, please correct the pronunciation. But, you know, where you are essentially saying, like, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. So essentially, where it's a practice where you go, like, to forgive yourself and for others, where it's like, okay, if I would go back and look at situations, and maybe I'm doing this wrong, but at the end of the day, it's like you figure out how you want to practice forgiveness, and repeating these things, and really, like, forgiving from the soul. And, like, I love these people to death. The people that had, in my mind, 12 years ago made me destitute and left me on the street, I see it as such a blessing, and I love them, and I forgive them, and I forgive myself. And I try to see all the amazing and beauty that has come out of that bad incident, or, you know, that misfortune in my life. Like, I was able to see that there's compassion and beauty from, and that you can receive love from others that look nothing like you. Like, what is a German and a Greek and an Indian to, you know, a Black Canadian girl in Australia? And because I kept expecting the best of people after that incident of, you know, that quote unquote misfortune, I was able to receive a lot of blessings. I was able to a certain degree, be free and release ties from a certain community and a certain identity. And I was able to just be like, who am I on my own, and building that from scratch. And I was able to appreciate and receive love and compassion for people that look nothing like me. Assume the worst out of people, or to think, you know, all of our differences. But there is so much love and compassion in this world. And I truly believe that what you expect is what you receive. And so after this incident, like, I just was expecting the best from people, and that's what I kept seeing mirrored back to me. And in moments where I thought the worst would happen, that is exactly what would happen as well. And so this has nothing to do with all of that. I'm going off on a tangent, but I want you, as a practice, for the next 21 days, every single day, pick somebody. Like, I'm sure there's people, like, there's no way you're out here to be like, no, I'm good, there's no one I need to forgive. Like, forgive your mailman, forgive whoever, your Amazon driver, your boss, your parents, your siblings, your partner. Like, just forgive and practice that forgiveness of truly sending out forgiveness to them, and then also forgiving yourself for however you thought you acted or should have acted or didn't act in that situation. And then just to allow that expansion, that love to come into your heart and into your life. And oh, what a blessing that is. Like, if that is not abundance, I don't know what is. And so I didn't share this for you guys to think woe is me, and I hope that's not the gist of it. It was more of like just to show you that something that I thought was a really misfortunate and, you know, unforgivable thing, I forgive and I love these people, and I'm like so grateful to them now, so grateful to them. So yeah, and so many great things have happened, like I can't even go through in this one episode. And I'm not out here to say that, oh, anything that's bad that's happened to you, I need you to make it, you know, think of the good. But I think when you've healed from something and there's been enough space and time of like, why fight for your limitations? Why allow more negativity into your life when you don't need to? Where can you see and forgive and really be at peace with the things that have happened to you? And no, I don't have to be the victim in my story. I don't have to make other people the villains in my story. And maybe I'm a villain in someone else's story. And just like I would love forgiveness, I am going to forgive those, and I'm going to forgive myself. And I just wanted to say I love all of you, and let's practice more forgiveness.